Um, Hello, good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the time is when you're at. Welcome to the UMass Communication Department Zoom info session about our graduate program and our graduate admission program. We have with us 4 people today. My name is Gonendoria Cohen. We have Professor Emily West. We have Professor Rupali Mukherjee, and we have Professor Wayne Wu. We also have a graduate student with us, Gopa Caesar, and we will have this session. We will try to keep our talk to about 30, 32 minutes, 35 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questioning. When we move to the question session, we will stop the recording so you can ask freely. Also, if you have questions and you don't want your voice to be heard, you can leave them in the chat. We will monitor the chat and we will answer those questions. And now I think Professor West, Emily, I think the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's so great to see all of you. Shall we move the slide forward?
Let's see. I think we should.
All right. This is our building, the building closest. These are the folks who are here. And also we're going to have a video from Larry Miller, another of our PhD students, but you can ask the folks pictured here questions today. Let's go to the next one. So a little bit about UMass Amherst, the institution as a whole. We're the largest public university in New England. We're in a sort of a rural area, but there's a lot of colleges and universities here. So UMass, the big university, and then 4 liberal arts colleges, which are nearby and which there are sometimes connections with in terms of working groups, or our graduate students can work with those faculty on their committees. And then because we're a big university, there's a lot of exciting things happening around campus, and some of our faculty and graduate students are involved with other units, like the School of Public Policy, the College of Information and Computer Sciences, and there's also interdisciplinary research institutes like the Institute of Social Science Research, and a lot of certificates or programs to get involved with. Some of them would be like the film studies program. Some of our students get a certificate in that. Feminist studies certificate. There's a UMass initiative for digital public infrastructure. This is just a sampling of some of the things available. All right, let's see what's next. Perfect. So yeah, last year we celebrated 50 years as a department called communication, although there was a department before that, more in rhetoric and composition. We're very proud of our alumni who've gone on to many of them academic positions, and some of them are now heads of department or been president of ICA. Communication is a large undergraduate major at UMass Amherst. It's a visible, popular department, and this is our lovely building in the middle of campus with a view of the campus pond, a sort of a relatively green building that's convenient to things. We have 28 full-time faculty, a very international and diverse academic department. The areas that we say we focus in include media technology and culture, critical cultural studies, film studies, performance studies, and language and social interaction. And some of the things that unite us across these areas, so to speak, are a focus on issues of social inequality, working towards equity and social justice, through empirical research, multimodal scholarship, outreach, and of course, our teaching. We have a very research active faculty, and there's a lot of ways to express that. Just one way might be through book publications. So we wanted to tell you and show you some of the books that have come out in just the last few years on an array of topics that kind of reflect some of those areas that I discussed. So this is one indication of the research profile of our faculty. And we do want to talk about funding. That's a question that we know a lot of our prospective students have. So we offer funding to all of our admitted students. Assuming you're making good progress, you're eligible for 5 years of funding. So what does the funding include? It includes a tuition waiver and an assistantship, which pays a stipend of about $25,000 or so a year. And there are benefits, like in particular, a benefit that covers most of the costs of health insurance, which is a really, which is really important for employment here. So the assistantship is 20 hours of work a week in the fall and spring semesters, mostly as a teaching assistant, or once you've been here a little while, teaching your own class, but again, for no more than 20 hours a week. Some of the positions we offer are research assistant positions as well. And I think there's more information coming up on this slide.
Yeah, need to go back.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. There we go. So that's the standard funding package on the left-hand side, but people I know are interested in additional funding opportunities. So actually what is standard right now is we're offering some summer fellowship funds for the first 2 years of the program. So you don't have to do official work for them. You just need to, make a plan to do your own work, and then you receive some funding. And then we have competitive funding opportunities. We have a couple of named internal grants for research. There are 2 graduate school fellowships that we can nominate students for at the time of admission that focus on underrepresented students in our field. We give out travel money both fall and spring. It's by application, but we're funding basically everyone who applies is eligible for a good chunk of their costs. And then the UMass Graduate School has various kinds of other competitive funding for pre-dissertation and dissertation research costs, fieldwork costs, things like that. So a little bit about the program. I'm not going to get too much in the weeds, but in terms of required classes, everyone does take a intro to theories class, intro to qualitative, intro to quantitative, as well as a year-long professional development workshop to get you oriented to our program. And then depending on your previous training, you'll be asked to take 1 or 2 survey courses. These are courses that review an area of focus in our department, and those are the 4 titles that you can choose from. And then we just offer here a sampling of elective classes over a couple of years that allow you to specialize more in your area of interest, be that a methods class or something that goes deeper into a subfield or topic. Another way that we can talk about the research profile of our faculty is through faculty research grants and awards. And we wanted to share some of these recent and ongoing grant-funded activity or fellowships and awards that our faculty have received, including National Science Foundation grants, an Andrew Carnegie Fellowship, and quite a lot of international work and fellowships represented here as well. We also are really do a little mute there. Thank you. We also are really proud of our graduate students who have been seeking and receiving external grants and fellowships to support their work. So just in the last year, these are some of the awards and fellowships that our graduate students have won to support their research and also to honor their work. And actually, Hunmin Kim, who is listed here as the recipient of the Eleanor Ostrom Fellowship, is here on the call today. We think that we know it's a tough time in the academy to be getting academic jobs, but we are feeling pretty good about the communication job market. There's some data there that shows that actually there are, at least in recent years, there were actually more jobs advertised than there were PhDs being graduated. And we are really proud of the placement of our PhDs, which I think our next slide shows. These are just in the last few years, some of the tenure line positions that our alumni have gone on to. They include Research One universities, teaching-focused colleges, community colleges, colleges and universities in the United States as well as internationally.
Mm, I think now it's my turn, so let's see if I can
Yes.
multitask. I will talk about the admission process. So there are two bodies that are in charge of admissions. There is a communication department, so this is the admission committee, and we're all here. And then there is a graduate school. The graduate school is a bureaucratic body that is in charge of getting all the documentation that you submit into, and they are the one that working with the online portal like Slate and later on Spire. They are requiring all the official documentation that you need to provide, and they are in charge of that. We are in charge of decision making to some degree. We will decide who gets in and not, and then they will let these people know. The admission process, again, the deadline is January 2nd, and you need to have a personal statement, your CV, writing sample of no more than 25 pages. Three letters of recommendation, official transcripts. The graduate student school will require those. We can check your application with non-official transcript, but once you are admitted, you will need to have the admissions ones. You can submit your GRE score if you have that, but we do not require that anymore. If you're an international student from a non-English native language, you need an English proficiency score. And there is a new requirement of a short essay from the graduate school about who you are in one hardship or element of your life that you want to write about. There is also an application fee. The English language proficiency requirement is a requirement that comes from the graduate school, but the teaching here is done in English, and so it is a requirement that one need to pass. There are various ways to submit this information, various tests, and there are also some ways to get a waiver. This is including being part of Anglophone countries or completing a master's degree in a US or UK or other English environment. There are some other ways to get a waiver. They are all listed in the graduate school website that you can look it up. We have a few waivers to give to international students and domestic students. In order to receive those, you need to request them. When you request those, you need to show financial hardship and needing the waiver, and also send the CV so we can see that there is an initial fit. We have very limited amount of waivers, and so we cannot guarantee that everyone who requests them accept them. And also, even if someone receives a waiver, it does not mean that they will be accepted to the program. Making the decision. So the admission committee will receive the files of all the people who are interested in joining us for next year. And then we go through the files that we have holistically. We go through the letter of recommendations, the statements, the writing samples, the GPA, all the information that we have, and we come up with a list of people that we think are those that need to be, that we will be happy to admit to our program. Usually we admit people who has a master's from communication or from fields related to communication or close to communication, anthropology, sociology, some English, theater sometimes, so social sciences or humanities. People who have only a bachelor degree can apply, and then if we admit them, they will need to take some additional coursework. And the acceptance rates, it changes by the number of slots that we have and by the number of applicants that we have every year. It is about 10 to 15%. Unlike other universities in the world and some departments in the US and maybe even in our university, we have a holistic central decision making. So the department has a committee. It is not up to an individual professor to admit a graduate student to the program. The admission committee sits with all the files, and we select the files for the department. The individual professor are not in charge of these decisions. Let's see if this works. Now we're going to have a video from one of our advanced graduate students. So let's see if it works.
Hi there folks, my name is Larry Miller, I use she, they pronouns. I'm currently zooming in from the University of Sheffield. I'm here on a conference at the Association of Internet Researchers. I am a fourth year PhD student currently working on my comprehensive exams. A little about me, my background: I have a bachelor's in cognitive science and psychology and a master's in data analytics and computational social science. So when I'm thinking through what are the reasons why you should choose UMass, I have three big ones. The first, and to me the most important, is the supportive environment. I've gone through a few health challenges as I've been working on my PhD, and my advisory team has had my back every step of the way, and that is critically important. Here I feel like I am seen as a person, and my advisor and all of the faculty that I've encountered genuinely care about my well-being, and not just mine, but the graduate population at large. That's something that's really, really, really important. I feel very, very supported here in that way. Another thing is that there is a diversity of method and problems that we address in this department. So our faculty are really, really open to mixed methods and for you playing around and exploring and finding your own topic. I am very interdisciplinary as a person, and many of our grad population is as well. Like, we all come from very different backgrounds, and that's a plus, not something to be looked down on. The third thing is that I'm at a conference, and the department has helped fund that for me. So our department is very, very supportive in terms of funding, to some level, conference travel, which is really, really helpful. I've shaped a lot of my ideas from being able to engage with conferences. So my TLDR for you is that UMass is a space where you will be seen as a person, which is critical, and in my experience, it's been incredibly supportive. From my advisor to the faculty I've interacted with, all the way to our admin, they want us to succeed, and that's apparent. The second thing is, yes, you can play with method, you can play with theory. I think that this is a playful place and that supports unique and innovative ways of approaching research. And then finally, again, one perk is that you can certainly travel to a lot of conferences through the comm department. If you have any questions about computational work, or conspiracy, or what it's like to be a first-gen working class student in our department, please feel free to reach out. I'm sure that the committee can share my email with you. Regardless, congratulations on being at this stage. I know that choosing to do a PhD is a huge moment, and you should be very, very proud of yourself. So whatever you choose, best of luck. Thanks for listening. Hi.
And now we will hear from Gopa, who is with us here on the video. Gopa, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gopa Viswacaesar. I am a second-year PhD student, and I just completed the entire procedure last fall, like fall 2023. So everyone says that it is most important to find the best fit for you when you are doing a PhD, because it's not a short journey. It's like a 5 years commitment to a discipline. And I myself come from a very interdisciplinary field, just like Larry. So my undergrad was in English Literature and Culture Studies, and then Television Film Studies. After that, I came here. And the environment here is very welcoming, and there are both the methods at play that you want to choose for. It's a very welcoming environment. There would be some initial struggles because your job here would be like at least twofold, if not manifold. There should be a phase when you will be teaching, and there would be a phase where you will be a student and studying, and also the job of a researcher. So distributing yourself evenly is always a challenge in here, but I hope the school that we have and the professors, the amazing professors that we have, it is a very, very welcoming environment. And eventually we will all survive this, if you call it, ordeal. And if you have any questions, because I am one of the international students, so if you have any particular questions regarding your struggle as an international student, I'll be very happy to help. You have my email address in the projection, so email me. I will try my level best to help you out. Thank you.
And moving along, we also have a new lab for research, focusing on research, and Professor Wayne Wu is one of the members of this lab. So Wayne, the floor is yours.
Sure. So I'm Wayne Xu, and I'm an associate professor in the department. This research lab called GlowTech Lab, it's a newly launched research space for people to conduct interdisciplinary and engaged research projects. I will say three things about this space. The first thing is that this is extraordinary. This is an especially interdisciplinary place because, me as a computational social scientist, I'm put in place in the same place with my colleagues who conduct critical discourse analysis and ethnographies, right? So this is not kind of a typical themes in US academia. Usually we would belong to different departments or different research labs. So this testifies the these interdisciplinarities of these research labs. The second thing I want to say is that as we head to this very uncertain and potentially isolationist period of time where it's all about the US or America first, this research lab provides a space for globally minded projects, which means we are looking at policy made in the US, technology developed in the US, how that impacts the global majority nations, but at the same time, and more importantly, how we learn from the global majority nations about some of the challenges that we are facing here at home. So the third thing I want to say is that we do not just want to produce knowledge for theories or for publications. We do want to produce research that has real impact for policy makings, for community well-beings. So we have conducted several research projects that in collaborations with community organizations, really to incorporate insights from people with lived experience and with practical skill sets. We incorporate that into our scholarships. If you want to know more about what we're up to, the reading groups, the research reports, and just upcoming events, you can visit the website glowtechlab.net. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this research space.
Thank you, Wayne. And I think to some degree, this is our presentation. I think we're ready to open it up for questions. I will stop the recording now, and we can move to your question. No, this is not.
Well, and I just wanted to interrupt to say that there are a few questions waiting in the chat. I don't know if we want to start with those or it's up to you. I just wanted to alert you.
Yeah, no, I paused this. I did not stop the recording, so it's good that you intervened because I need to find the place to stop the recording. Stop recording.